Okay, next chapter we are going to start with isometric projections. Now, before starting with isometric projections, I shall again give an idea about orthographic projections, that is the type of figures that we were drawing till now. Now, in orthographic projection, mainly what we did was, if we are having a rectangular block, okay, what we did was, we are viewing this rectangular block exactly from the front, from the top and from the side, okay. So, in order to represent a single figure, we were drawing three separate figures. First, we were drawing front view. In the rectangular block, we can see its length and height. Next, then we viewed the rectangular block from the top. Then we draw top view. We were drawing its length and breadth. And then we were viewing it from the side. We were drawing its side view. We are getting its breadth and height. So, in order to represent a single solid, we were drawing three separate figures. And we were using only horizontal lines and vertical lines. Now, the disadvantage of these type of figures is it can be understood only by engineers. A normal person or a layman point of view, a person can never identify this figure, or he will not be able to understand that this is a rectangular block. So in order to avoid that, what we can do is we can draw three-dimensional figures. Okay, there are different types of three-dimensional figures. Okay, now the disadvantage or the problem with the three-dimensional figure is a solid is having three dimensions, length, breadth and height. But the problem is all these three dimensions are mutually perpendicular to each other. So what we can do is we can draw it in such a manner that it appears all the three dimensions has been used. We can never use all the three dimensions at a time since they are mutually perpendicular to each other. So we are going to draw it in such a way that it appears all the three dimensions has been used. There are different methods for drawing three-dimensional figures. One is called oblique projections. Now in oblique projections, we are using three types of lines. In orthographic, we are using only two types of lines, horizontal line and a vertical line. But in an oblique projection, we will be using three types of lines. Okay, one is a horizontal line, other one is a vertical line, and for representing the third dimension, we will be using 45-degree lines. So horizontal line, vertical lines and 45-degree lines are used to represent figures in oblique projections. Now, another type of drawing in three-dimensional projection is isometric projections. That is what we are going to draw now. Okay. Now in isometric projection also again, we are using only two types of lines. Okay, we are using only two types of lines. A 30-degree line and a vertical line. A 30-degree line and a vertical line. But thing is, we will be using these 30-degree lines on both sides. A 30-degree line on one side might represent its length. A 30-degree line on left side might represent its breadth. And the height is represented by vertical lines. So this is how we draw a solid in isometric projections. And there is one more projection, a three-dimensional drawing. It's called perspective projections. Now, the specialty of perspective projection that we will be studying after isometric projection. The specialty of perspective projection is we will be drawing the solid just as we see through our eye. That means we will be feeling that the edges are getting converged to a particular edge. Okay, this is called a perspective projection. Now, what we are going to draw now is we are going to draw figures in isometric projections. Okay, so what we are going to assume is we are not going to view the solid exactly from the front. Instead of that, we are going to view the solid at a particular angle. Now, what we are going to assume is we are going to view this solid at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, so instead of viewing this rectangle block exactly from the front, what I'll be doing is I'll be placing this rectangle block at a particular angle. That means at an angle 30 degrees. And then I'll be viewing this, or we will be viewing this rectangle block at an angle 30 degrees. Then how this rectangle block will look like, that we are going to draw in isometric projection. Now thing is, when we are viewing a solid from a particular angle, the dimensions which we see will not be its original length. There will be slight change in the dimensions. Now that all I shall explain in the next video. Okay.